Hello everybody and welcome back for another video. It's been a few days as I've been trying to figure out my cost basis calculations for all my crypto transactions for 2020, and that's basically what I'm here to talk about, is to bring back what I've learned and provide some insight and hopefully maybe introduce some lessons that maybe somebody who's newly getting started into crypto or has kind of already been down the same road as I am might avoid some of the pain that I've found. And before I go any further, if at any point during this video you find it useful, please give me a like and subscribe. Both help me get in front of more eyeballs. And the more views I get, the more eyeballs I can get in front of, etc. I'm not doing this to get famous, but I find cryptocurrency useful, and I'm trying to share the good news of it with as many people as I can. And what better way to do it than sharing some YouTube videos? So, all right, getting right into the issue. Cost basis when it comes to cryptocurrency, the IRS looks at it as basically similar to any physical asset you would, or even a stock that you would buy or sell. They look at it as they want to know how much it cost when you bought it and how much did it sell for when you sold it. And it's also worth pointing out here that when you flip one cryptocurrency for another, that is considered a sell in the eyes of the IRS. The good news for cryptocurrency holders is you only get taxed on it when you sell. So if you buy and you don't sell very often, you're probably okay. That'll probably make your life a lot easier and you'll have a lot less to report. But the problem, if you've been in crypto for a little while, you can probably see how this problem presents itself. One way is that cryptos can be bought in microtransactions accumulated up to a larger sum and then sold all at once, or vice versa. You buy a large chunk and then you maybe sell little bits and pieces of it off as you go. If you have a nice clean transaction, like you bought one Bitcoin then you sold it later for X gain, that's nice and easy. But I don't think that's most transactions. But I'm gonna cover all these basic examples. I'm gonna show you how to deal with them as far as the IRS goes. Now, if you're like me, you've probably done your taxes for years. I remember doing my first set of taxes when I was 16 years old, and doing it on paper for my first part-time job I had. I've done it ever since. This is really the first year that I've kind of got to something. I said, man, I really think I need a little bit of outside help on this one, and the reason will probably become apparent as I go. So I wrote up a little blog post on Medium here about the issue, and I'll link it, but it's here and it's great. So I use TurboTax. If you use TurboTax, I know a lot of people probably do use TurboTax. There's probably similar questions on every one H&R Block and any other similar ones, but there's this part on the income where it says, did you buy or sell, or did you sell or trade cryptocurrency in 2020? Don't say no if you did, because they will get you. But you can see it here. I took a little screenshot. Did you sell or trade cryptocurrency in 2020? So I said yes, and then it takes you to this screen. So basically what you have here is a little web form. It's got 6 columns: service, asset name, date of purchase, cost basis, date of sale, and proceeds. Now you can see here that this is really all they care about. Where did you buy it? What was it? When did you buy it? How much did it cost when you buy it? And the cost basis includes any fees you paid, so you have to include those, the date of sale, and the proceeds, and you can deduct any fees from the proceeds as well. Now where things complicate themselves is this web form that I found can only import, you can only hand jam, term I use from military time, 75 items on here. And what you can do beyond that is you can attempt to put together your own CSV spreadsheet, comma separated values. Now, to me, I wasn't willing to invest the time and I was looking at hundreds, if not thousands, of transactions, just because of the nature of how many different entities I was dealing with, and had a crypto debit card, and it was a little messier than just entering a few, buy it a little bit and sold a little bit. I had a lot of transactions, but I did learn about cost basis, learned how to figure it, and maybe I'll make my life easier going forward. Okay, so basically, you can do it yourself, or you can pay to have somebody do it. Now I'm going to show you how you can do it yourself, but this is a very basic example, mind you, and these are not real prices. I just threw these in here just for illustrative purposes only. But I took, okay, so this is a single buy. Like, we bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin on May 1st, 2020, and we sold on December 1st for $2,000. So it perfectly doubled. These are nice round numbers, and they work out well for my example. But I can assure you, when you do these on your actual calculations, if you had anything that was, you're gonna have some wild decimal points, and you're gonna have to do some Excel magic. I'm not here to teach you how to use Excel. I'm just here to explain the cost basis side of things. So that's a nice clean one. You had a gain of $1,000, easy, right? If you sold for less, you'd have a loss, and they're going to take that on that form. So here we have the same amount, only we bought in two different portions. About $500 worth on May 1st and $500 worth on June 1st, and then we sold $1,000. We sold the whole batch on December 1st for $2,000, but for the purposes of this form, to match up with the way the IRS wants to ingest it, we sold them each chunk for $1,000, and it just so happened that the price perfectly doubled. Magic, right? Okay, and then the third example is one single buy, and then we broke it into multiple sales. So we bought $1,000 worth on May the 1st, and that's broken down here into two $500 chunks, because we sold it in two different points. On November 1st, we sold $1,000 worth, and on December 1st, $1,000 worth. Again, not real prices, and yes, this is for illustrative purposes only. Of course, your numbers they're not going to be nice and round with zeros and all of that. I can almost assure you. And okay, so that's that part. Now let me go back to, all right, I'm just going to leave it here for a second. So once I got to this part of things, I quickly began to feel that for me, the juice was not worth the squeeze, because things were getting quickly complicated. I had transactions all over the place. I think I had 11 different places where I had Bitcoin, and I had 50 different cryptos. That's another set of lessons for another video. But if you're using US exchanges only, and you only use maybe a couple, they give you enough information to be able to do this spreadsheet. It's probably in the doable range. I'd say go for it. If you have maybe entities that do not give you a nice transaction history, they don't spit out a CSV form, maybe things like that. I had one wallet. It was the Atomic wallet out of, I don't know why I decided to start using it. I was just playing around. There's no way to export history, so you got to try other things to get at your transactions, or you could hand jam them to a spreadsheet, but it gets ugly real fast. But having said all of this, I quickly got to the point where I felt like I didn't want to invest any more time just out of stubbornness. So I eventually got to the point where I said, I'm willing to pay for this. And one reason I did that is because when you do that, I don't feel comfortable changing from first in, first out accounting to last in, first out, and vice versa. A lot of these coin tracking apps and websites do give you that ability once you have all your transactions imported correctly and correctly, formatted and tagged and, all accounted for and everything. So it might pay for itself. And at the very least, I think I'll learn some more insights, seeing what was a good trade, what profitable trade, or what wasn't. Maybe what I should double down on and what I should get rid of. Habits I should kind of throw out the door, and maybe things I should improve upon. So, having said all that, the solution I ended up going with was coin tracking. There's others out there. I'm not going to go in depth on coin tracking, but to me, so far, it appears really good. There's lots of ways to import your transactions, and so far, I really like it. I do have some data cleanup to do. I'm not done yet, but I'm trying to get my taxes done sooner than later because I hate, letting the government hold on to my money. The IRS also has a nice frequently asked questions on cryptocurrencies, virtual currencies. I'm only covering cost basis here, so there's other topics to it, like airdrops and rewards, tokens, and all of that. A lot of those will be counted under like regular income, but I'm not going into that in this video. And frankly, once it starts getting a little crazier like that, you'll see what I'm talking about as far as maybe wanting an outside service to help you track these things. That's really all I have for this video. If you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share it out with anybody you feel might use it. Stick around. I'm going to be putting out more videos like this, topical videos on different cryptocurrencies, how-tos, that sort of thing. I was doing news for a while, but I had to take a break from that because the pace of it was a little too much. I do have a full-time job. I have to pay for my crypto somehow. I have to have money to invest. It has to come from somewhere. But what I will probably try to keep putting out is videos on crypto stocks and institutional money. That seemed to be something that people enjoyed. So I will probably come out with like a weekly update on that or something, to be determined. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching. If you found it useful, give me a like, and I'll see you later.